e-gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
We are loading into the game right now, people. Don't worry. We're loading into the game. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Dota Pit Season 5 League. We are in the European qualifier. This is actually the last qualifier of qualifiers. I mean, this tournament has had, like, what, 2 different European qualifiers. I think there was an American one, a China one, a C one. Anyways, we have all of the teams slated with the exception of this one last remaining European team. I'll give you a quick look at the standings of this qualifier and how it's ran so far. And as you can see, we are there at the lower bracket final. It's Alliance versus Elements Pro Gaming. Alliance were knocked down yesterday into the lower bracket by OG. OG are currently in the finals, waiting for the winner of this series. And then, of course, the winner of that best of 5 tomorrow will be going to Croatia split Croatia to be exact to compete with all the other participating teams. The other participating teams currently are Wings, Digital Chaos, Team Secret, Virtus Pro, Team Faceless, Invictus Gaming, and Evil Geniuses. We're just waiting for the one last European qualifier spot, and we're going to have one big stacked Croatia LAN party. I'm Kyle Guy, joined by Rhyme. Rhyme, are you jealous? Is your dream to just make it to a sweet, like, big Croatia LAN sleepover party? Yep.
I've always wanted to go, but that's a pit lord.
That's a pit lord, man. He made it through. He made it through the bans, and Elements managed to creep it in. Alliance decided that A, we got to ban Darkseer because he crashes games, so we don't want to deal with that. And then B, we got to get rid of Ogre. I don't know. Teams still find Ogre just as scary as the last patch. Do you think he's just as bad as the last patch? He's still big. He's still an enforcer. He still has bloodlust. Is that really all you need to be good as an Ogre?
I mean, he's a fight hero. You run around and fight things with him, and everyone wants to fight in this patch. So he kind of. He's one of the, oh, that's a second pick slug. I think, like, Jug Batrider is one of the, like, few openings that you could justify second pick slug into. Because he's gonna do well versus an offlane Batrider, he's difficult to kill with Omni, like, you can't really focus him very much. Yeah, he's pretty good against those heroes.
10 seconds.
I'm just excited to see if Elements have, like, an Underlord player. Like, if it's gonna be Mitch, let's say. I mean, do you play him in the off lane? Is that what you do? And has he played it before? What are we going to see? I haven't seen much Pit Lord play, to be honest with you, since like Dota 1. Even when he was released, people just didn't even really bother with him, at least at my level. So, where do you put Underlord? What do you want? We talked a bit about his new root adjustment, which sounds wonderful and all, but what do you want out of an Underlord right now?
Just a hero that can't necessarily be focused and basically makes any hard carry kind of much weaker. He gives you map control, Dark Rift, Atrophy Aura is absolutely absurd. 40% bonus, like, base damage reduction is quite silly. His laning is very, very good if he has another hero to make sure he doesn't get, like, bursted down. Jog is pretty good against him because Blade Fury, obviously, you don't have to right-click, so he's good at killing him on the offlane. And Underlord's itemization is quite nice. He's one of those heroes that really does enjoy just building up as much tankiness as possible, goes to Guardian Greaves, goes into Pipe and all this stuff. So he just is in the fight and he will immobilize everything.
He's just like walking utility, pretty much, for the team, I guess. So I'm excited. I'm hoping to see some big plays with his Dark Rift, the portal, if you will. Most of the cases I see it as someone using it as like a get out of jail free card just to get away from death, but I wouldn't mind seeing some backdoor plays or side lane pushes or quick initiations with big team fight. Anything to kind of pull out a bit of a crowd pleasing here. But moving forward into the bans, getting rid of the Timbersaw here in the second phase. Alliance rid of the Oracle, which, as we know, is still a pretty damn good counter to have against the Batrider there. Ursa also going to be taken out of the equation, another good man fighter against the Jug. But we'll have to see what alliance they're going to be kind of moving on into here. You got to remember, this isn't our alliance of old, if you will. This isn't an S4 Batrider, and you can't just fall back on a, good old lone druid or Nature's Prophet from Mr. Bulldog here. Alliance have been finding their groove with their new roster, and now they got to, continue to find that groove with a new patch on top of it. So we're still kind of waiting to see if this is going to be like a tier 1 alliance kind of a team, or if it's an alliance team that's still trying to, find their way.
Disruptor, reasonable pick. Yeah, they're just kind of seeing how things go. It could be mid Batrider, but it might be because you just want to get farm quite quickly and not get shut down too much by Slark. I remember playing against Limp Batrider actually. I think I was playing SF and I died 14 times.
Oh.
It wasn't a good game. He had quite a lot of fun though, so that was nice. My team wasn't happy with me for that.
So Limp's pretty good at that mid lane, is what you were getting at.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it. He's just he's a good Batrider player. They've got 2 good Batrider players, or maybe more, but you don't really see Loader, EGM, or Hanskin really give it a go. But
go into Visage though, because Visage has received what looks like a lot of love in this recent patch. I remember after seeing the changes, couldn't help but go check in with a certain Lil of Virtus Pro to see if he had any thoughts on the hero. He only kind of emitted a bit of frustration when other people were playing it and not knowing what to do, but I don't know how much he likes. I mean, they might be not just deciding to reveal that bit of information and just trying to see if they can nurse it big, but when I look over the changes here, a lot of changes to Gravekeeper's Cloak. Familiars have been adjusted a bit. Remember, they're no longer going by like number of damage ticks or number of times they're hit. Now they actually are back to having life again. I don't know if Rhyme, you've had the chance to look over Visage and his new adjustments and what kind of impact he's going to be making in 7.0 now.
I think he's they're no longer spelling, but like they're just seems quite a bit stronger. Wait, familiar attack damage for charge time reduced from 15 to 2. I don't even know what that. Okay, so they're just, yeah, they just seem stronger. You seem to be able to fight a lot more often. You don't necessarily have to split push. You can actually just keep going from fight to fight. Their damage per charge got rescaled, so he's just a bit stronger overall when he hits level 11 or 12 now. That's really strange. Level 12, second point penalty. Alliance taking...
Yeah, right? I know you only play a game for like 10 years and learn it one way as far as when ultis come into play, 6, 11, and, 16, but... Nope, the frog says we're breaking that.
Is the picking thing messed up for you, the pick order? It's pointing towards Alliance, but it's actually Elements pick, because Alliance just picked Enchantress.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's messed up.
I also wish we could see the talents in this screen. I don't know. I mean, if they pick Underlord, I could see all of his skills, but I can't see what his talent tree
you know,
looks
if you
like.
go into a Captain's Mode game right now, and you're actually, like, drafting, all you see on the interface is the picking thing, and you can't tab out, you can't go to the main menu, you can't do any of that stuff. You're just imprisoned in this
I noticed
Mode
that
game.
because when the patch first came out, I was like, I want to know what the new draft screen will look like. So I had to like quickly get on 3 accounts, make like a private lobby, and then also hop in as an obs. And I noticed that when it didn't work the first couple of times, I'm like, wait, how the hell do I get out of this lobby and start over again? I had like force quit. I had to like control alt delete.
Yeah, I had to do that. Yeah,
it was so ridiculous, but I was.
They'll fix it eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get around. Like I said, guys, there's a list. I'm sure there is a serious whiteboard list. I mean, Valve eventually has to go, okay, this is as good as we're going to get the patch with our in-house beta testers. Everyone here says, let's roll it out. You know, might not be at its final form yet, but it's time to release it to the masses so that they will see everything that we have not been able to see. Or let them be totally vocal, I suppose, on what they need to have in their game, what is part of their Dota game, what the pros need to have. And it's made a lot of adjustments. It's still got a ways to go, at least in my opinion. But it's just part of the game. We'll just hope that we get our continued luck of no crashing.
Reserve time.
Their rhyme.
Right, so Alliance are going to ban out now. They're probably going to ban a mid-tier that they're worried about. It depends really what their concept, because Elements, like, they pick quite a large variety of mid-tiers, like Paul plays Invoke, he plays OD. In fact, those are the 2 main ones I'd say he plays. Arc Warden.
They're like, well, they picked Underlord. I don't even want them to pick the other guy. A hero that used to be considered probably the brokest in the game. I know he's been adjusted quite a bit to be able to make it into Captain's Mode, but there's only so many.
Hero used to be insane.
Yeah, there's so many Arc Warden specialists already out there that I don't. It's hard to tell right now who's.
5 seconds remaining.
The only pro player I know is like Lil, probably who played the hero, but that was even the old one. So I don't know. Maybe just Alliance getting rid of uncertainty, I guess.
Which means they're not too worried about the normal, stereotypical, I go mid kind of heroes. So Elements tend to ban, even though the thing points to Alliance, which means I'd probably. It looks like a decent game for something like Invoker, just to kind of push down towers. But Invoker's not the same anymore. He's not so good at pushing now because you don't get the forward spirits until level 15. So. Yeah.
Do you think that is enough to kind of
10 seconds
just
remaining.
take Invoker out of Tier 1?
Dire team pick.
I don't know. He's still really good in pubs. He still does what he used to do. But I think he's not so reliable anymore. I think he will still get picked. Like, he gets last picked and last banned quite a lot already. So I think he's still very viable. But I'm not necessarily in this game for either team.
5
Back to
seconds
Elements
remaining.
now as we look for their potential mid lane grab, and it looks like it's going to be a puck. Puck pickup here. And now you get more teamfight control, something to lock things down under the power of the Visage Burrs, under the power of the Crystal Maiden ulti, Underlord. Lots of lockdown here, actually. Lots of good team fight. Elements,
Right, Lion's gonna pick that.
yeah.
What do you pick into that? Like, what kind of core does well? High. You don't want something with extremely high Shadow Fiend, maybe? I don't
What
know.
about
Does well versus
TA?
Puck.
Radiant side TA, though? I mean, I guess, I don't know if Radiant
TA against
can
Slark
actually-
Underlord, I wouldn't go for it. Too much slow, too much just interfering stuff.
10 seconds remaining.
Wouldn't go Storm either because of the Puck.
5 seconds
I'd go
remaining.
What about OD?
Oh,
Is he still?
for Weaver. Alright.
Of course.
Okay, mid-jug. Mid-jug safely on Weaver, okay. Yeah, that's alright. No, that works. So, get
Oh, yeah.
decent farm on the Weaver and then run around with Enchantress and use Omniflash as a threat to any support sword to stop you from pushing. Seems good.
We also got that preparation time. I think that's what's happening right now, right? Is it? I don't know. When does the prep
I don't know
time
if you-
kick in?
You don't get that in Captain's Mode.
Oh,
you
you
only get it
don't?
in pubs. You only get it in all-pick pubs, I think.
Oh.
Prepare for battle.
Interesting. All right. Well,
Right, so, early smoke.
and they go right for a TP on the side of Alliance here. Handskin's going right for this prime ward spot, it looks like, just to the right side of the Roche pit. And down and below we see Gogi here, already getting a pretty damn deep ward. This is a nice little ward to have. Pretty much scouts all sides of that first rune on Alliance's front. So both offlaners will be getting a little bit of extra side vision here. Handskin on the Enchantress, it would appear. I'm just trying to still double check what these lanes are potentially going to be here from Alliance's side. So it looks like it could be a... Is that going to be a solo bottom bat here from Alliance? Are they going to go aggro setup?
Yeah, it's going to be Ench
30
playing with
seconds to
these
battle.
two hard camps. The one on the lane and the one in her own little section of the jungle here. So she can like half jungle, half come to the lane, and whenever the lane pushes back, like they don't have to share XP, she can go farm. And then when the lane starts pushing forward, she can very easily rotate around and then threaten the CM and Visage, neither of whom are particularly strong against Enchantress creeps. I think they'll do pretty well. This is a really good laning setup from Alliance. Like they should,
The
as far as I'm
battle
concerned, I think
begins.
Batrider should do very, very well against a hero like Pitlord, which is why they're already rotating around. So they want to put the Slark up against the Batrider, and they want to put the Pitlord up against
Dang.
the heroes that hit really hard.
So because of this aggro setup, it's the first time I've seen one team get both of the runes. Mitch heads up there now, quickly realizes that Alliance are all up here to party, and now he's going to get trapped inside. A good kinetic field will be the level 1 call. Locks him in for a little bit. He gets off some of the root, but it doesn't lock him enough. Loda's going to be able to pick up the last hit, and it is Alliance who strike first and get first blood.
Yep. Not a good way to start off your Pitlord safe lane. He's going to have a really hard time, I think. It's going to be pushing in. So we should get this wave now, because he shouldn't get zoned out from this. So one full wave of XP gets into level 2 pretty safely, provided it doesn't get denied. So he just needs to really survive here. Maybe get to level 4 or 5, and then he becomes harder and harder to deal with. He just needs to not get dived, really. But as long as Enchantress is pressuring him, Enchantress isn't really doing anything to his Puck. And Puck does fairly well against Drug 1v1, because you can just constantly spam it with orbs. Like, you're not going to kill him, he's not going to kill you, but as long as Enchantress isn't there, Puck should do fine.
Yeah, well, at least that
But he's
should
kind of,
be the case.
he's in no man's land now. He's probably going to get spun here.
Yeah, Cole with a deep aggressive dive with that orb.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, I think.
He won't be able to get back in, but that's when the Blade Fury comes out, and he's just going to be forced to orb up and over, and away from the presence of Limp here. Down and below, Gogi, who had been neutral farming a little bit on the Crystal Maid to get to level 2, invests that point into his aura, and now we'll cross paths with Bat. Bat was trying to go for what looked like the pull, a single pull, but Gogi's going to be there to try to shut him down a bit. Can he still make it in
Mitch.
time?
Oh, no.
Oh, at the same moment, though, top lane, Mitch is going to get jumped. And all that's left is a Venn diagram of what was once his body, it looks like, so. Double takedown the Underlord already.
Yeah, he's having a really, really bad start. Like, he can't go back there. Like, he will never get any farm in this lane now. The Weaver is going to threaten to dive him every single time now. By the time he gets back, the Weaver's already probably going to be level 4 now with the Blightstone. I don't want to be too negative, but this is not how they wanted things to go. He's not going to have farm, so he needs to wait until his team can actually make plays with like the CM and Visage and stuff. But those two heroes aren't really good for like the early like rotations. They're good for Like, Visage is very good when you have a very strong lane. He gets to pull quite freely. And the CM is very good for taking advantage of the jungle, but they're not really the greatest roaming combination. But they will kill the Bat Rider here, most likely.
Yeah, they get a good frostbite, and with the pounce on top of it, it's a lot of lockdown, and they have enough firepower to be able to get the finish. Elements will be able to get themselves on the board now as they take down the Bat Rider in the bottom lane. So, good nod their way, and for Jonas, he's just going to have to second-guess his deep commitments in this bottom lane and just kind of continue to keep tabs on where these supports are going to be showing themselves.
Alright, so this Hans gonna probably want to take the boots and the smoke off the courier. He doesn't have... Okay, now he's got the... so he's got a decent ganking creep, but chances of him killing Puck are quite low, so he might go for another dive onto the Underlord. But he might just decide to farm for a bit, because honestly, he doesn't really need to do that much. This Underlord is not going to be farming very well for quite a long time. He doesn't... He's kind of happy with the state of his lanes so far. Beacon last hits mid is almost dead even, and the Slark is slightly out farming the Weaver, but the fact that the Underlord has fed 2 kills kind of evens that out.
Bottom lane here, they're still trying to surround Jonas. This time Gogi with his level 3 tries to use that slow. Uh-oh, suddenly this tower hurts way too much, and she just gets blasted in the face with all that damage. And a very unfortunate aggressive die there from Elements. Now a TP rotation out because top lane is where the action breaks. Glimpse to send them all the way back into the bottom lane. Now Mitch at his lonesome amongst the tower rubble. He will be surrounded, and with the creeps coming out, there's just a bit too much. Good heads-up glimpse play sends LeBron back to the bottom lane too.
Wait up.
Oh, slow on Gogi. And then a Thunder Strike, but he's able to get the Frostbite off, and that's going to be good enough to get loaded down, but she will still get dropped, of course. With the Thunder Strike and the right click coming out from Hanskin here. There's the root, there's the nuke, but Hanskin's able to still creep his way through the trees. While this happens, back and below, they're also getting a jump on the Jonas. They nuke him down, one more right click, they got it. Pick up right there from LeBron, but bloodshed from all across the map. Things settle into a 5-3 advantage for Alliance. Rhyme, are you still there, brother? Rhyme is not there at the moment, it looks like. I was actually going to take this moment to see if I could bump down his level just a bit. But, hello, are you there? I see you now.
Alright.
You're back.
I slightly changed my audio levels and I had to make a bit of an error change thing, so... Oh! Game's getting run out.
Top lane. Disruptor, a bit too far from home here, will be taken down, it looks like. Hanskin sweeps in, is already making chase here, looking to get Mitch down one more time. Long shockwave nuke, is not going to be able to get the connection. But now Gogi roams on forward. He's got the dust to be able to tech Loda, and he's not going to be able to Sakuchi himself out of trouble this time. Elements on the run back now, managed to tie things up with a couple of picks now. Really getting into the action. They make a presence in the bottom lane, bullying back the Bat Rider a bit, but they do not hesitate to rotate across the map and recognize where Alliance are getting a strong advantage in that aggressive off lane.
Yeah, I think it's just they're using the Puck to fight quite a lot, and he's losing out as a result. Like, the Jog is level 7 with 40 CS and Puck sitting on 23, halfway to level 7, so there is a price to be paid for being able to make that rotation. So the question is it worth it, because now they get farm on the Underlord now, where before he was doing other
Jonas gets tackled under the tower. He's pounced and chased down by Swift Ending. Lotus looking to make him pay for it. It looks like he will. Sakuchi's right on through him. And you take one of ours, we'll take one of yours. And back to 6-6 we go.
So it's pretty even right now. The Visage and CM are doing okay on levels.
This'll come in handy.
Then we'll take the Bounty Rune and we'll farm this Puck in.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So, all looking at the net worth, is scores are relatively even, but the Underlord's doing quite a bit better than the Bat Rider now, because he's not really had a good time. Bat Rider's just been constantly dived by the Slark, and the Slark was like creep skipping, so the Bat Rider couldn't really take the XP at the tower. So his life has just been made very, very, very difficult.
Rotation, though, a heavy rotation here from Elements as Jonas has put himself to the top lane to try to bulk up a bit. He is quickly surrounded by 4 of Elements' team, and there is no chance for him whatsoever to be able to make it out. Jonas is going to get dropped. The Bat Rider continues to have to string together what farm he can. The dreams of a Blink Dagger are going to be left off in the New Horizon, I suppose. And we'll see where Elements look to pick it up from here, as they also recognize Loda hanging in the bottom lane now. They nuke him up quite a bit, but he will back on off.
Yeah, this Weaver, basically, they need to make sure that he's able to pressure a hero at least, because a Weaver just kind of farming in this game isn't really going to do that much, because Weaver, he's going to struggle in mid-game against Slark and the Puck. But he needs to get quite a lot done and be kind of threatening at this point. Because he did quite well early with the Enchantress shutting down the Underlord, but now he's got his mana boots and he can farm a bit more securely. This Weaver doesn't really have a place. He just needs to kind of farm up to his next tier of items, which right now is probably going to be a Dragon Lance, as you can see in his quick buy.
That quick buy sure is nice. It kind of ends the whole question on what are you going to think they're going to get next. Bottom lane, deep dive for Disruptor. He goes down. Element still blasting on all cylinders here in the early game, similar to the trend we saw in their matchup against ATN in the previous series. Looking to kind of maybe fluster Alliance a bit. I mean, I don't know if that's what they're going for here, but putting a lot of emphasis on trying to secure dominance in the laning phase.
Yeah, they're just trying to get a lot of kills out, and it's working in that they're getting quite a lot of XP on their supports. Like, they have a CM which has got more XP than an Enchantress, they've got a Visage which is considerably more farmed than the opposing Disruptor. So it's just a question of, like, can they take these advanced levels on their supports and the more farm they have on their offlaner and actually turn this into something, because they still probably have to wait for Puck's Blink before they can be really hyperactive. And it's just a question of, can the Jug and the Weaver, who are quite farmed, do enough? They're taking the mid tower now, and they probably want to turn their attention towards top because that's on half HP.
Yeah, EGM's heading up that way right now, as they wait around possibly for the rune. Nearby, Swift Ending could get spotted. Thunderstrike, there's a glimpse waiting if necessary, but he does go into Shadow Dance, goes for the TP, and makes it away. Sorry, Flame Break still will not cancel a teleport, and the Slark will be able to make it out without too much trouble. Gank avoided, and Alliance now put their initiative towards this top lane, maybe to break this tier 1 eventually, because we have Hanskin on deck. He's got a couple of creeps to work with, and looks like they're going to be moving on in. Already on the scene here is Cole, and he does have a coil in his pocket ready to go here. We'll see if Elements look to converge or split the difference. Seems possibly to be the latter, as most of them have gathered towards this bottom lane to maybe make their own pressure on tier 1.
Right. Loda he's just kind of living down here for a bit. He can farm relatively safely until Puck gets dagger, and as soon as he realizes that, he'll play a lot more safely. But he's gonna get ran at a bit by Gogi.
They got the root. There's the nuke slow. They put the frostbite on top of it. Yeah, there's no chance. He's got no way to wiggle out, and he's just gonna get dropped. That leads a tier 1 takedown for them. Alliance trying to get one themselves, pushing up towards this top lane. Cole is in the lane, but he's a Puck. And they're not going to be able to stop him, but they will glimpse Stack Storm. Well, yes, they will. They can do that, but here comes some TPs. It's going to be the Underlord bringing in the posse, and now comes Elements. They are able to bring down the Puck first, but they will at least get the response onto Jonas and his Bat Rider. Nearby Hanskin goes for the teleport, should be able to make it out. And it's a 1-for-1 trade. Elements not able to get that bottom tier 1 finish, though. So it still stands. Loda can clear these out and then deny it if he so chooses. But he does not choose. I'm just kind of worried
that, like, Jug is just kind of farming, so he's just trying to get to the point where he can get Manta. He's got level 2 Omni slash... No, he doesn't. No, he's not level 12. Ooh,
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So, at some point, Jug will be able to start taking these fights, but for right now, he's content just to farm. And Puck died when he was right about to get the dagger, so that kind of set him back a bit, but now with this wave coming into the tower, and probably the next one, he'll have that to work with.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oda may have to watch out a bit more.
It's just about that time where we get to check to make sure everyone actually leveled up those talents, but before that, we have a lasso play here. A grab onto the Underlord as they pull him back in. Flame break, bump back, Omni Slash on top of it, and they're going to make it 2 with that. Nice takedown by Limp, but now Limp finds himself in a little bit of a pickle. There's the coil, but he Blade Fury's out from trouble, and that's when Loda sneaks himself in. He's looking to get the grab here on for Puck. Cole, though, is going to get glimpsed all the way back in. And can he make his way out from this one? It looks like he'll be fine.
Yeah, without dropping the ulti, there, they definitely have a way of killing him.
Yeah.
Even if they do drop the ulti, you can. I don't think you can. I don't know if you can orb out of the drop the ulti. But there's weird interactions where you can like blink out of it even if it's on top of you.
Yeah, it's something about like if that first tick happens to hit before you can get something off at least. The puck might be different, but tower is acquired here from Alliance. That bottom tier 1 here for Elements is still standing. They didn't deny it, and they're going to look to move on forward and be able to pick it up here. Loda's nearby, but now he's going to get spotted. There he gets rooted down, nuked. Familiars stun him. The roots continue. He's going to be forced to pull out the ulti. And time lets himself back in. But here comes Hanskin rushing on in, looking to go for Visage. He tries to juke him back, but they're just a bit too fast, and they run him down. Hanskin's going to pick that one up, secures a killing spree, and then they think about making a move for Mitch, but Mitch does double back a bit. Now Cole gets his own jump, looking to go for EGM. Commits in with the static, but not going to get the catch for the puck. Coil going to be dropped, and they'll get a trade of ults apiece. EGM does eventually go down to Gogi, it looks like. And now Elements can move on forward. Did they eventually get that tower, or was it denied?
It was denied by Loda.
It was denied. Nice takeaway there from Alliance. But now Elements are just kind of sweeping through the jungle front here, looking to get anyone they can. And Gogi just ran between 2 cores and gets quickly sliced apart. The rest of Elements second-guessing about committing in for a fight. Cole says, maybe we'll do it. Jumps in. They're still rooted. Swift Ending pounces on forward, but that's where they miss their marks. And he opts to pull on back. But there we go. Lasso now onto the Visage. I don't know why they're deciding to go in one at a time, but finally, after the 4th one jumps in, they will finally get that guy down.
Yeah, the supports just keep running in. He's just getting chopped by Jug, and he's more than happy to chop them.
I mean, I understand Gogi going in first. He's like, I'll run up early, I'll get a ward down. But then Gogi dies, and it's like, at that point, then you should be, okay, we're fighting or we're not. But they still continue to dance around, and then Visage was just the last one of all. He pays the price. But they're still hanging around. Maybe something Alliance doesn't suspect as EGM makes his return, but Swift Ending will not get the connection. Can they glimpse him back? Do they want to glimpse him back? EGM says they do. Brings him right back in, but it's only just to kind of poke at him a bit, it looks like here. Without the ulti to lock him down, kill potential is not going to be as easy.
A golden thread.
Yeah, Alliance's game plan feels like they're just kind of playing this mid-game, and then Jug's net worth is going to ascend into the heavens, and then they're going to fight around him. But he's yet to kind of reach that stage. When he reaches Manta and doesn't have to worry about the pit build so much and the puck, then he can start playing more aggressive, but
Coil on for Jonas.
Taking the free kills.
He's trying to fly himself out from trouble, and he'll be good. That's a Coil down. And Alliance don't have to even sack a life for it. EGM's got that stack storm ready to go. Pops down the sentry. Gogi drops one of his own, and they'll take it out. Alright, but Elements are here to play. It looks like they're here to get the tier 1. EGM's the closest defender right now, but yeah, does not want to get quickly swarmed here. Could see another situation where they try to make a push happen and then fall back on that Dark Rift from Underlord to kind of quickly transport the team elsewhere.
Mitch is running in.
Here they go. They're running in. They're going to get the root right on top with the nuke, with the puck bomb flying forward. EGM will get taken care of, and they'll continue to rush on back and be able to take out the Enchantress. Hanskin's going to get dropped on that one on the other side, limp, under the pressure of Gogi and his freezing field. Opts to go for the Omni Slash. At the end of it, though, they will be able to get the finish, and Alliance quickly lose 4. Only the Bat Riders have survived. Elements take a monster fight now. Jonas, the lone survivor, and barely at that. Elements take a huge sweep there, take a tier 1, and a little over a 2k gold swing.
Yeah, it's just so easy for the Weaver and Jog to die at this point. Like, Jog got caught without spin inside CMLT, and he's forced to Omni just defensively. And then Puck's just kind of sitting there just waiting for him. So it's just very hard for any individual hero of Alliance to survive the damage coming out from Elements, so they need to have a better kind of way of taking these fights. They need to get people caught in the Disruptor ult, they need to get early pickoffs, they need to stop the Puck from getting his spells off. But currently that's not quite working out. And the Slark gets richer and richer, then it's going to get harder and harder to kill him. And there isn't that much stuff to kill the Slark at this point. Like, the only thing they really have to rely on is Disruptor ulting, because they're not going to catch him with a lasso. So, knowing that, it makes it much easier for the rest of Elements to really kind of just run rampant.
Loda flirts him at the mid lane a bit. Don't mean to step out from the game, but do you have less frames now? I don't know. We saw an update, but I feel like I've lost some frames.
Yeah, my frames have dropped by a third.
Oh, AGM drops down a Stag Storm, but they quickly blow him up, and Disruptor's taken out.
Oh, Swift Ending's giving Limp a hug top lane. Oh, nice.
Ooh, Limp, though, will be able to Blade Fury and TP out. The rest of Elements, though, still hanging on this mid lane. They're here for a push-in, and they're not looking to pull off yet. And
They're just going to cut this wave top, though. He wants to stop the Slark kind of pushing lane and just guarantee himself some farm. Slark, of course, about to finish off his Echo Saber. About to buy that up.
This'll come in.
I mean, is that pretty much the game plan here? I mean, you kind of look at the lineup of Alliance, and you'd say that, you know, they have a build-up. They need time. Elements, though, it seems like they're not looking to allow any time. I don't know if it's just kind of full steam ahead and keep pushing on forward, or if that's just how they like to play the game. But either way, it's kind of working a bit here against Alliance right now. Do you want to see them continue to kind of ramp up the tempo a bit, or do they need to eventually just kind of have a little bit of me time to farm up?
I think Alliance have done enough. Their laning phase went poorly enough compared to what they wanted it to, that there's just so much farm on the dire supports. Like, this Visage is going for an Ags. He's got his point booster. He's about to get his second level of Familiars. The Pit Lord has recovered quite well from his early start. He's got his Greaves now. I think with the Echo Saber on Slark now, like, there's just so much stuff that it's very difficult for Alliance to fight into them. And I think they wanted to be able to push down a lot more towers with Jug and this Weaver. Especially with the Enchantress, like, she didn't really manage to get that much done apart from, like, dominate the top lane.
Yeah, I'm trying to find her groove right now. Throwing the Ogre Club into her backpack. Don't you want to utilize that extra bit of stats? Come on. Maybe not looking to give away too much of a clue as far as what she's trying to build up. Whatever the case may be, Hanskin continuing to push things through and towards this top lane of Dragonlance, obviously, as there's two bands of Elskin I see there in the stash. But while that happens, you know, eventually you're going to have to get all hands on deck. As Elements are going back in, they're looking to go for tier 2s, which eventually lead to those shrines, and could lead to a situation where Alliance are just trapped inside their own base, suffocating, without much answer in this game. This tier 2 not set for this world, quickly taken apart. Already Elements have some nice clustered deep vision, so they're looking to control the majority of this map. Back and behind, Jonas gets caught out. Cole moves in, gets him with a coil, tickles him with a Dagon, and then there's the finish coming in. Batrider going to be brought down another peg in this one. Let's look it over. He does have his Blink Dagger now, but ultimately will pay the price.
Yeah, it's just really difficult for any single hero of Alliance to do much in this fight. Like, the Jug, he needs more items. Like, with a Manta, sure, you can survive, but you can't deal damage to the Puck without Disruptor ult being there. You can't really kill the Slark because he's got a Shadow Blade and he's got a lot of health and his ulti, so I'm just trying to find a way for Alliance to take fights, because Mitch has become, like, indestructible now. He's achieved Guardian Grooves, he's got to every Pit Lord Scream, so, and both of these cores on Alliance are quite affected by that.
Oh, swing and a miss! Swift Ending gets so excited when he sees that delicious morsel on EGM, he just happens to pounce right up over his head. Gets the send back, it's on Underlord, which will leave Swift Ending still there, and able to kind of clean up his treat.
Oh, Cole's looking, he's got Arcane Rune, runs to Hanskin.
Quickly bursts down the birdie, and we'll head on back. Elements, though, feeling really in control right now, man.
Yeah, if you look at EGM, he's the most poor disruptor to have ever walked this earth. And CM's sitting at 2k above him, so CM's not looking that great, but getting closer to a Glimmer Cape now, so just the bots, they're doing a tiny bit better, but in terms of the Underlord, like, he's doing much better than the Batrider, and the Slark is lording over all right now. Getting closer and closer to his BKB.
And at that point, it's probably full steam ahead here for Elements as they charge in now through this top lane. A very low tier 2, and then you just got the mid one to take down. Loda shows up now. The rest of Alliance back and behind, but really their teamfight potential has been stunted quite a bit. Certainly pales in comparison to what Elements have brought in. They're looking to adventure out and try to get some wards down, but as they do so, they pay the price. EGM going to get quickly taken apart. Jonas even caught up onto the high ground right now, juggling with Cole. will be taken apart on the other side. Lip looking to break out a return fire as he gets the Omni off. Will get the finish. It's only on Crystal Maiden, though, while they converge in, looking to go for Loda. He's able to make it back out the other side. But Alliance will lose 3 to the 1 Crystal Maiden of Elements. That does not stop them from advancing in this top lane.
Well, I like the Alliance has got Loda going for a Dessa right now, so he's decided that BKB won't do anything. He just needs to hit hard and hit hard now. So they just really do lack a lot of damage. Limp is going to go for a dagger so he can kind of choose his targets a bit more carefully, because otherwise he's just going to have to run in and hope the right Omni target kind of presents themselves.
Man,
he has arrived on Slark, or it will hit very shortly.
Courier on route, of course, with that precious. Oh no, Courier's going back. What's happening? No, bring it back. There we go. Swift Ending's like, don't even think about it. I need it. Brings it back in. Yeah, I definitely have like lost frames since that update or something. Or I don't know. Maybe Dota's just got too many creeps now, too many tricks. Everybody needs supercomputers to be able to spectate the game. It looks like.
Yeah, I was sitting on like 130 to 140, like just when playing normally now, and I've been getting like 80, 90 now, so it's gone down by a third. So that's pretty considerable. Like, given that nothing's changed about EPG, it's just the update is quite demanding.
Yeah, when I go to a side lane and I'm just watching Cole, it looks pretty good, for example. But yeah, I don't know. That's Dota for now, I guess, until things are going to be sharpened up, I'll say. Inside the Roshan pit, though, Roshan Claws taken down as Loda's going to quickly snag up the Aegis here, right under the nose of Elements, who do not seem to be the wiser on this one. So this will extend the life bit of Alliance, but what are they looking to really achieve with this Aegis? They actually smoke right up, and they're looking to turn it right back around on Elements now. There's the jump in, the lasso pullback, but Swift Ending's able to shrug that one off, BKB up, and just go back to town. Don't even think about it, Alliance. They quickly stump down 2. Loda, though, deep into the mix, trying to go for Mitch. Going to be forced to time-lapse now, and he is a man on the run, but the chase is on. Orban right on through him. They're going to be able to burst down that Aegis. They just picked that Aegis up, man. And now Loda will lose his life. 3 go down all day from Alliance. That was them trying to go on the offensive. It felt like it looked good, but Swift Ending just shut them down the second they tried to make an opening happen.
Yeah, he was just killing the Wild Wing, and then he just popped Stark back to kill it a little bit sooner, and it's just like, oh, I've stopped the lasso from a 4-man swing. It's like,
no big deal.
Yeah, sometimes that just happens.
I just shut down a whole gank, a whole opportunity for a team to come back into this game, all by randomly farming a bird. Good for Swift Ending.
And the Axe has come, so that's actually the main building damaging tool, I think, for Dota Die. Which is quite nice. So,
wait, for Visage?
Yeah, for Visage, he's got his Ags up now, so he is the Building Destroyer Supreme.
Man. I'm also curious to see his level 25. I want to see some speedy race car familiar action here.
Oh, yeah,
how for these other ones?
You've got the Spell Amp, you've got... I think you go for the Cast Range over the damage, because you're not... Visage is pretty... Well, actually that was... that time when Arteezy played like carry Visage, I remember that.
Yeah, that's possible.
A lot of them just make him got one a bit richer, a bit hits a bit harder, then survives a bit longer, and then you've got the Race Car Familiars, which I think is one of the better ones. Yeah, in terms of like talents, you've got Slarks, I think has the most boring of all heroes, I think. They're all just stat kind of things apart from Pounce, and even then that's just like, you know, that's just kind of alright.
I noticed Keeper of the Light was like that. Most of the supports get like super cool level 25 talents, but Keeper of the Light and Earth Spirit, the heroes I like to play, they got kind of boring talents, but yeah, what can you do?
Well, some heroes like changes the weight of their talents. Like CM, her Ags is pretty cool. It applies like the current level of Frostbite to everybody.
Yeah,
so
if they're
if
under
you don't have
it
EQB, it's like the most punishing spell in the game.
That is so good. I mean, imagine like, because you have to be under her ulti for a period of time before the Frostbite will be able to kick in, but you got an Underlord on your team. He's just going to Pit of Malice them all in their place. Pit of Malice plus Freezing Field.
They just love Underlord. Like, he's just got talents. He just takes 4 armor, 200 health, buys Guardian Greaves and a Crimson Guard, and just decides, I'm going to be tanky. I'm not going to die. All he needs to do is just keep the aura up, and then it is about to hit max rank when he hits 16, so good luck to anyone trying to kill him or anyone near him, because it doesn't seem that's going to fly.
Is that the road we're going down? A lot of first bans on Underlord in our future?
Yeah, he just makes playing carry very, very difficult. Like, any lineup which revolves around just bursting people down with physical damage is just not really...
Oh, hello, Loda. Swift Ending just casually shows up, hops on his back, and cuts his head off. No big deal. Alright. I mean...
Jonas is just sitting in the trees like, I can't do anything to save you, friend. Cuts the creep wave, and just... They'll
be able to torch it down and then quickly TPs away, but this is just Alliance with their side lane split-pushing tactics to try to just extend their life in this game and try to build themselves into a position where maybe they can come back.
This'll come in handy.
Well, it's getting to the point where, like, Jug has this he's got this really awkward period where he's not really that good of a fighting hero, but he's reaching the point now
Alright, it's 3 versus 1. How mighty and tanky is this Underlord? He withstands a Static Storm and an Omni Slash. And then he tried to go for the TP, but it was a bit too late.
I think if he just pressed that as soon as the glimpse went, he would have lived, but yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, no Silver Edge.
That's ulti's down though. As they make their jump forward the top lane, they'll easily take out the Bat Rider. And that was one of the ultis that was still up. Loda, okay.
Oh no.
Diving in deep. And suddenly appears back inside his fountain. While Limp though, Blade Fearing outside the front door here. Gotta be careful. Don't want to go too far from home. Gets Dagon. Silence. They need a bit more. They'll be able to Frostbite him, but they can't follow it up. Ah, Swift Ending says, I'll get it done. Jumps right in, pops his BKB, and he's looking to go for the closure here. Steps back and will get Loda down. Loda does have a buyback. Does he need to use it already to stay alive? They might. They just zapped apart and took down Handskin, and that's when Loda makes the call for the buyback. There is going to be a glimpse from EGM to pull him back inside the base, but he's happy to pounce on out. Now, Elements have not been able to do any sort of base sieging work here, but my god, they're taking names. Another kill takedown onto EGM. Loda farms down a familiar as a response, but man, Elements are going to
Elements seem like one of the lineups that you just never want to take any kind of extended fight in, like ever. Because Pitlord keeps everyone up the whole time. They've got like really low cooldown nukes and AoE damage. You've got Puck who can silence you at any point. Slark is obviously, well, he kind of steals lots of stats and stuff, and he's hard to focus. And I think Alliance, their entire lineup is built around catching people out, getting very quick pickoffs, and like taking fights around towers you're already pushing. And they're in no real state to try and take these fights where they're defending tier 3s. Because all of their damage, like, their Jug has to go, well, Manta, which is pretty normal, but you have to go a very, very quick BKB, so you can try and fight against the Puck, for example. And you also have to, and I think mainly so he doesn't actually get completely paralyzed by the Pitlord. Set of Malice is rather mean. This is pretty tough, really.
Yeah, they got some tools to help deal with it, but for, okay, then stuff like this happens. Swift Ending just casually approaches, you know, Alliance's, one of Alliance's go-to hopes in their highest net worth, and he's just taken care of, just like that by Swift Ending. Not looking so good for game number 1 for Alliance. Can Elements close this one out? They quickly shred down EGM and happily dive inside the base. Loda looking to pop off what shots he can here on the Swift Ending, but Swift Ending is the one doing all the work as he wipes out another 3 down from Alliance, and then Loda could be set to fall, trying to rush and make it back and away. Him and Handskin, the only survivors, but it's already done. I didn't even see the GG call. Did I miss that?
Yep. Jonas just called it.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, that game just suddenly ended. It was over, but not really surprising at the end of the day. Elements just went from 0 to 100 so fast. What would you say was like the big tipping point, if you will, on when the game felt kind of back and forth, but then Elements just suddenly owned?
Honestly, I think it was like early enough that it was when Loda used ulti on bot lane, and then they saw that his ulti wasn't cooldown, and they killed him, and then they took the tower. And it was at that point where the Slark basically could farm wherever he wanted. They couldn't stop the Visage or the CM from getting stuff, and the Underlord was given a lot of space. And I think as if the Underlord started getting farm, then it was going to be very, very difficult for the Alliance to really push anything. And I think if your cores are Jug and Weaver, then I think you really need to start taking towers, because against Slark and Puck, like, when Slark gets a lot of farm, those two heroes just don't do very much against them. And their core matchups are quite bad, so they need to do stuff early and to take towers. Do that.
Well, we'll see if Alliance head back to the drawing board and maybe scrap together a different kind of lineup, a different kind of 7.0 lineup, or if they're going to reach out elsewhere to feel what's comfortable. But one thing is for sure, Elements came to play, or at least they're already warmed up after their previous series against ATN. Now suddenly it's match point. With one more win, Elements will move on into the finals to play OG. Alliance need a win in game number 2 to just stay alive in this lower bracket final. I'm Coddle Guy, that's Rhyme. We'll see you soon for game number 2 of Alliance versus Elements Pro Gaming in the Dota Pit Season 5 European Qualifier.